So that's Catholic Hungarians, 200,000. We had 20,000 young people on the road to Chartres, which would be the largest youth gathering, certainly the largest traditional Catholic youth gathering on the European continent this summer. And did you notice something strange about that event, about the Chartres Pilgrimage? Did you hear anybody talking about it? Your bishop? Did he talk about it? Anything from the Vatican about the Chartres Pilgrimage? No? Why do you suppose that is? Why are they ignoring these events? I think it's because the whole concept of the Church of Accompaniment is basically fake news. And how do we know that it's fake news? Well, let me count the ways. But how about this from Cardinal Muller to start with?
You just mentioned before in our conversation that you recently talked with a member of the Congregation for the Clergy about your impression from the pilgrimage of Chartres. Would you like to mention that to our listeners?
I spoke to one of high functioner of a congregation for night worship, and he said, it is more important that they are respecting the newer form of the Latin Rite. If not, they should not come. It's better that they not come. It's better to have an empty church, that church full with these young people.
Now, did you catch that? According to a Vatican prelate, it would be better to have empty churches than to have 20,000 young Catholics whose only crime is to love the Latin Mass, whose only crime is to keep the faith, right? Now, to put this in context, in horrific context, imagine yourself as a young pilgrim, all excited about the coming pilgrimage to Chartres. You're doing your best, you're praying your rosary, you're loving God, you're making preparations to be there. You're walking a very difficult pilgrimage. Yeah, you train for months, spiritually, physically, for the big challenge of the pilgrimage, only to be told by some creep inside the Vatican that he would rather you weren't there. That he'd prefer the Chartres Cathedral had been empty on Pentecost Monday. Friends, who is this monster? And how did he get into our church? This comes right from Cardinal Muller. It's not some gossip. Cardinal Muller is quoting what happened to him inside the Vatican when he mentioned the fact that he was so pleased by the Chartres Pilgrimage. And that's the reaction. So if this isn't a hostile takeover of the Catholic Church, I don't know what a hostile takeover of the Catholic Church would be. This certainly is it. Stay home. We don't want you. We don't want you. The Church of Accompaniment does not want you if you don't agree with everything we say, everything we do, right? And there's more. Right after the Chartres Pilgrimage, the Vatican's Church of Accompaniment took a closer look, evidently, at this pilgrimage, too. The Vatican Dicastery of Divine Worship, reports Orate Caeli, has notified the Archdiocese of Oviedo that the pilgrims, get this, all those young people who are out there trying to do the right thing, they're all pro-life, they're all pro-family, they're all pro-Catholic, trying to do the right, every one of them, right? These pilgrims of the Spanish Our Lady of Covadonga pilgrimage are forbidden to celebrate their Mass in the historic shrine of Covadonga, Our Lady of Covadonga, at the end of their pilgrimage. Forbidden. What for? What is wrong with these people? What is wrong with them? Here we go again, another youth event. The church is dying everywhere, parish is closing everywhere, right? This is a youth event. It's a thriving revival of Catholic fervor and practice of the faith. These kids in Spain, just like the kids in France, they don't know anything about Vatican II. They don't give a hang about Vatican II. They don't count themselves as counter-revolutionaries. They just love their faith. They love the faith of their fathers, the faith of their mothers. They want to practice it. And the Vatican is shutting them down like the child catcher in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, out searching for children who go to the Latin Mass. This it's perverse beyond words. It's terrifying. They're shutting kids down who want to keep the faith. Why? Well, we know why. Cardinal Muller just told us. Because the Vatican would prefer to see empty pews to thousands of young people whose crime is to love the Mass of all the saints in history. The Mass of John Paul, the Mass of Padre Pio, the Mass of Father Max Kolbe, everybody. St. Maria Goretti every day. The Mass from the 1940s, the Mass from the 1950s. And what does the Vatican say to people who want to go to that Mass? You guys can get the hell out of here, says the Vatican to kids wanting to walk to Chartres, kids wanting to walk to Covadonga. So there's your fake news, friends. There's your fake news of the Church of Accompaniment. It's not the Church of Accompaniment. It's the Church of Abandonment to anyone who disagrees with them. Whatever their agenda is, which at the moment seems to be mostly blessing homosexual couples. And the thing is, they say that we're the rad trads, right? We hear that a lot. Don't you hear that a lot? How mean they are. They're so mean. They're so opinionated. They're so nasty. They're rigid. Those traditional Catholics are so uncharitable. We're the ones who are uncharitable? We don't act like this. We don't do this. You know, we have friends, we have family, so many people. The vast majority of Catholics who are still practicing the faith today are at the Novus Ordo Mass. We don't judge them, we don't condemn them. We're simply trying to restore sanity, liturgical sanity in our own lives by taking advantage of indults and decrees that are given by recent popes, the immediate predecessors of Francis. Who said yes.
We wouldn't say that they shouldn't go to Mass on Sunday.
No, we'd never.
Those churches would be empty.
Right. We would never say that. It'd be better if they didn't go to Mass at all. Just stay home, watch the football game. So how do they get off now, saying that we're the ones who are uncharitable, that we're the ones who are rigid and mean? Again, it's all fake and gay. Fake and gay, where this, friends, 2,000-year-old liturgy of the Catholic, this is forbidden by the Church of Accompaniment. Right? Well, this is not.
Unfortunately, this church here, Our Lady of Grace Church in Hoboken, New Jersey, is holding a Pride Mass, a sacrilegious and blasphemous Pride Mass today.
So this is a sacrilege, and I was baptized in this church. We have to come out here, we have to do public prayer reparation, and we have to do fasting.
But we also want to make a peaceful public witness that this is not what the church is meant to do. This is not what we're for. And this is a grievous offense that needs reparation, as you guys know very well.
The Pride Mass, the Sacred Heart Church. The Vatican goes out of its way to shut down the Latin Mass, for which these iconic cathedrals was built in the first place, right? And then says not one word when this happens in the premier cathedral in New York City.
While the audience, packed with fellow trans and LGBTQ members and allies, roared in delight at the humor, members of the church balked. Bill Donahue from the more conservative Catholic League writing, "Men dressed as women and women dressed as men. At the service, many of those in attendance dressed as hookers, danced in the aisles, sang Ave Cecilia when Ave Maria was sung."
And so nobody from the Vatican has anything to say about that, but then the Vatican swoops down like a bat out of hell when somebody tries to say the Latin Mass in the Cathedral of Covadonga in Spain. Obviously, friends, the revolution is well out of the closet now. It's all out in the open. And the only thing that remains for us to do is just choose a side. Which side are you going to be on? And that's why it's so important that we have so many priests, so many bishops, so many cardinals who are agreeing with us now. Something's gone wrong inside the Vatican, right? We are appealing to authority too. And they're telling us, yes, says Cardinal Muller, there is a crisis going on. This is the end of the Church of Jesus Christ if it continues.
If they will succeed, that will be the end of the Catholic Church, and we must resist.
Yeah. So, where do you stand? With them? Or with them? With Christ? I know where I stand, which is why, right now, I'm in Africa to, yes, unite the clans, confident in God's ultimate victory and in the triumph of the Immaculate Heart of Mary as promised. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen, friends. It's a matter of when.